powerful storms suddenly turned a quiet Midwest evening into a nightmare. Sirens blared across towns as dark clouds spun violently overhead. Homes were ripped apart, trees snapped like matchsticks, and entire neighborhoods were left in shock. Emergency crews rushed in as residents searched through debris. Families ran for shelter while the storm carved a path of destruction. In just minutes, communities in Illinois and Indiana were forever changed. And tonight, the Midwest is beginning the long road to recovery. A powerful line of severe storms swept across parts of Illinois and Indiana, producing multiple suspected tornadoes that left a trail of destruction across several communities. Meteorologists say at least 4 tornadoes may have touched down, striking areas including Kankakee County in Illinois and Lake Village in neighboring Indiana. The storms moved quickly, forming dangerous rotating supercells that unleashed powerful winds, heavy rain, and destructive tornadoes. As the storms intensified Tuesday evening, emergency sirens sounded across towns in the region, warning residents to take immediate shelter. One of the hardest hit areas was Lake Village, Indiana, where officials say the tornado caused extensive damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure. Buildings were torn apart, power lines were knocked down, and large trees were uprooted as the storm moved through the community. Authorities say at least 2 people were killed and several others were injured as the severe weather outbreak swept through the region. Rescue crews quickly launched search operations in damaged neighborhoods, looking for survivors and helping residents trapped inside destroyed structures. In Kankakee County, Illinois, about 60 miles south of Chicago, another suspected tornado tore through the area near the county fairgrounds and the community of Aroma Park. Officials reported major structural damage, with roofs ripped off buildings, debris scattered across roads, and numerous trees snapped or uprooted. While no injuries were immediately reported in Kankakee County, the damage left behind painted a dramatic picture of the storm's strength. Power lines and utility poles were knocked down, forcing road closures and leaving thousands without electricity as crews worked overnight to restore power. Residents described terrifying moments as the storm passed overhead. Some said they heard the unmistakable roar of a tornado, a sound often compared to a freight train, just seconds before strong winds hit their neighborhoods. Others described watching debris swirl through the air as homes and garages were ripped apart. Emergency call centers were flooded with reports as frightened residents dialed 911 to report collapsed buildings, downed trees, and injured neighbors. First responders from multiple communities rushed into the hardest hit areas to assist with rescue operations and assess the damage. Meteorologists say the severe weather was part of a large spring storm system stretching across the central United States, bringing dangerous thunderstorms and tornado threats from the plains to the Midwest. More than 22 million people across multiple states were placed under severe weather alerts, including tornado watches and warnings issued by the National Weather Service as the storms moved eastward. Storm chasers and weather observers captured dramatic footage of the tornadoes forming across parts of Illinois and Indiana, with rotating clouds and large debris fields visible as the storms moved across farmland and residential areas. Local officials are now urging residents to avoid heavily damaged areas so emergency crews can safely continue search and recovery operations. In Lake Village, authorities set up temporary shelters for residents whose homes were destroyed or severely damaged. Volunteers and community organizations have begun delivering food, water, and supplies to families affected by the storm. State leaders also pledged support. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said state agencies are working closely with local officials to help affected communities recover and assess the full extent of the damage. Meanwhile, meteorologists from the National Weather Service have begun detailed damage surveys to confirm exactly how many tornadoes formed and determine their strength on the enhanced Fujita scale. The survey teams will analyze damage patterns, debris paths, and structural impacts to determine wind speeds and tornado intensity. For many residents, however, the priority right now is recovery. Neighborhoods that just hours earlier were quiet suburban communities are now covered with broken trees, scattered debris, and damaged homes. Yet even in the face of destruction, stories of resilience are already emerging. Neighbors are helping neighbors clear debris from driveways. Volunteers are bringing food and supplies to shelters, and emergency crews are working around the clock to restore power and ensure residents remain safe. As the storm system continues moving eastward, forecasters warn that other regions could still face severe weather in the coming days. For communities in Illinois and Indiana, however, the focus now shifts from survival to rebuilding, because when storms like these strike, recovery doesn't happen overnight. But history has shown that Midwest communities are resilient, and they often come back stronger than before. If you want to stay updated on breaking news and major weather events impacting communities across the United States, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Did the storms affect your area? And how prepared do you think communities should be for severe weather like this in the future? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned for more updates.